Advocate here to take a look at the UK's penultimate PS1 demo disc. Released on February 2004 alongside issue 107 of the official UK PlayStation magazine. There are 11 playable demos and 2 Yaroze games on here. The theme for this disc is the Fast and the Furious. Nothing but racing and fighting games showcased here. We'll also get to see brand new Yaroze games, so there's lots to do here. Let's begin with the first demo, shall we? We'll start with a demo for Ace Combat 3, a step up from its sequel, which I covered on Disc 9, Volume 2. Core gameplay is the same, aerial dogfighting and fighter jets. In fact, there's 23 different aircraft the game offers, including one mission where you fly a spacecraft. The game supports using the analog sticks, which makes flying easier. Something interesting about this game is the Japanese version has significantly more gameplay than the international versions, including branching paths and multiple endings. The demo gives you a timed mission to try.
Warning. Warning. Missile alert. Warning. Missile alert. Missile alert.
Let's start with a return to the car-smashing series with a demo for Destruction Derby Raw. Psygnosis gave this game to a new studio, Studio 33, since Reflections was busy making Driver 2 at this point. As a standalone car racing and destruction game, it's fine. Compared to the other Destruction Derby games though, it's quite lacking. It doesn't really try anything new or interesting, and review scores at the time reflected this. The demo gives you a couple of modes and a couple of cars. Now for the demo for Dead or Alive. It's all very well making racy double entendres until a game comes along that doesn't require them. It's all up there on the screen. Put simply, the developers wanted you to know that this game has jiggle physics and they're gonna put it to use. As for the rest of the game, it's yet another one-on-one fighting game with some interesting gimmicks, not counting the jiggle physics. One of them being if you knock your opponent off the arena, they explode and are sent skyward. Someone must have planted mines or something. The demo gives you 3 characters for 2 bouts.
Round 2, fight!
The first Dynasty Warriors game by Omega Force. Quite different from the strategy hack and slash format the series is best known for today, isn't it? The first game was a simple one-on-one, yet despite the PlayStation already quite saturated with such games at this point, Dynasty Warriors were viewed rather well at the time. One standout gameplay feature is the fact that the game encouraged parrying your opponent's attacks, causing them to flinch and leaving them vulnerable. The demo gives you 2 characters to choose from. Moving on to the demo for N.GEN Racing. This game has your race in jets, making for a rather original game at the time. It even has a career mode, where you win races to upgrade your jet. Reviews at time of release were generally decent, with many critics praising the originality and customizability. The bigger criticisms involved the lackluster track design and how repetitive and boring it can get. The demo lets you fly a couple of planes on one of the tracks. Namco strikes back with Ridge Racer Type 4, following on with the more gritty realism of Ridge Racer, but still more arcade style than Gran Turismo. This game emphasizes power sliding around corners, which explains why all the tracks in the game have tight turns. The game has 320 cars spread out across 4 racing teams. You unlock new cars by doing well in the qualifying rounds. The better your position, the nicer car you unlock. The game also offers a split-screen multiplayer mode, the first Ridge Racer on the PS1 to do so. The demo gives you 3 laps on 1 track. For those of you who remember all those demos for Rollcage several discs ago, here's the sequel, Rollcage Stage 2. Gameplay is pretty much identical, with speedy cars that can drive on the walls and ceiling, as well as find and use weapons picked up off the track. You'll find even more cars and tracks to race on in this game. Critics enjoyed the game, with some comparing it to Wipeout 3. The demo gives you 3 cars and 3 tracks.
Round 1. Fight!
Yep, it's a demo for Tekken 3 again. It hasn't changed, it's still as fun as ever. You have a choice of 2 characters for a single round.
You win. Round 2. Fight! You win.
The next demo is for Battle Arena Toshinden 2. While not much of an improvement over the previous game in the series, there is a simple combo system and a ring out system, as well as some movement tweaks such as the removal of dodge rolling immunity. Reviews at release were mixed. Overall, most critics didn't like the fact that the game barely made any improvements over its predecessor and had to compete with the likes of Virtua Fighter 2 and Tekken 2. The demo gives you a choice between 3 characters for a single bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the red corner, Lennox Hedges. In the blue corner, Don Brown. Final round. Fight.
Now for a boxing game. This is the demo for Victory Boxing 2. Choose a boxer and try to fight your way through 3 leagues to win the World Championship. Sounds like it could be good, but honestly this feels like an earlier PlayStation title, with the simpler, more colourful graphics. The full game has you build up a fighter, learn special moves and take on 40 different boxers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the decision is Lennox Hedges, the red corner. You lose. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Gene Okerlund, and I'd like to welcome you to WCW Nitro.
You know, brother, you think you got what it takes to beat Hollywood Hogan once you climb in the ring and try out the largest arms in the world. Hollywood style.
You really think you're ready for this? You really think you're ready for the Scorpion Deathlock? You think you're ready for a fatal encounter?
The last demo on this disc is a questionable one. WCW Nitro from THQ, a wrestling game based on the now defunct franchise. Reviews praised the atmosphere and sizable roster, but criticised the poor frame rate and controls that are all over the place. The demo gives you an exhibition match between Hollywood Hogan and Sting.
Over the top rope! Powerbomb! Hogan wins!
We've got 2 new Yaroze games to play, so let's see them. The first is called Katapila. Katapila? Katapila. And it's Doodle Jump. Keep your little dot person jumping up as high as you can go by landing on the various platforms scattered about. The jumping physics are tricky to get used to, as the dot builds up inertia very quickly. The other is called Pingping. At first glance it looks like a version of Pong with gravity, but the gameplay is closer to a very old game called Tennis for Two. That's everything for Disc 107. Some good demos and some not so good demos on here. It feels like they were trying to use demos that we hadn't seen all that often. Except for Tekken 3, of course. Thanks for watching. We are almost to the end of this huge playlist of UK demo discs. The next disc is the last PS1 disc the magazine released. Let's hope they went out on a bang. I'm the Advocate, on a never-ending nostalgia binge.